The glorious aftermath of the disastrous woke bait and switch called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Seriously, did anyone like this game? Did anyone enjoy it? Now, I know that there were 3 people in my comments saying, I actually am playing this game currently and I am very much enjoying it. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. Most people made the smart decision of not being blind idiot consumers and did not buy this slop. Now, granted, the funny part is, this still did better than the Outer Worlds too. Wow, that is insane. Okay? Why are we... Why is no one actually paying attention to the World of Darkness games? Because... These numbers are actually, these numbers, we've already talked about it. All these numbers, all these graphs are pointing that the audience is there and the audience wants something good.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was a game that had so much potential that was completely squandered. They did the worst job possible with this title, and there is a reason why just a few days after release, this game is already tanked in player count. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic,
yeah, it died in literally just a couple of days. It was funny.
if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, sure, whenever a single player title comes out and it doesn't have like a multiplayer or co-op component, it usually does eventually drop in player count, but this close to
True, but Baldur's Gate 3 though. That's not even dropping now, and it's been like a year since it came out, or 2 years.
release is not a good look, right? Usually it takes 2 to 3 weeks minimum for games to really start falling off, especially a title that is
True, Mommy Vera has watched my videos. She knows that typically normal, not even good, but just normal games die in roughly 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes, you know, it takes a month. Well, typically it actually takes a month for a game to lose like 60% of its audience. But this thing died in days. Well, Avowed literally died in hours. So you know, it's there's a spectrum.
supposed to be a rich RPG with so much to do, and you're gonna get so much value out of this game because its all-time peak was all
I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of value out of a game that literally calls you fire, and your character loves introducing that I am fire. You can't tell my gender because the developers made sure of it, but I am fire.
already really bad at 27,000 in 11 days ago on release, but now it's already down to 4,138. So the 27,000 by itself was already really bad. This game had nearly 200,000 followers, 20 years of hype in the making, and we got just a really bad experience. It's yet another title that went through development hell. It was stopped and restarted several times. There were several different teams that worked on this, but to top
Remember, there's the my side of YouTube, then there's the shill side of YouTube, and then there's the cope side of YouTube. The cope side of YouTube is pointing at this, by the way, currently, and saying, the new Fable game is gonna be good because look at how all of these non-disasters that didn't fail literally day fucking 1 hour one are performing. No, seriously, people are so cope-induced when it comes to the new Fable game. They're pointing at shit like this and saying, "You see, Fable is gonna succeed because this succeed." Like, what kind of metric did you use for succeed? Well, what the fuck are we even talking? Succeeded in what? Bankrupting the studio?
that off, we are talking about a game that was modernized. They dropped a lot of systems. They didn't expand upon more systems that either the base game started or the TTRPG had, and they decided, you know what, we're going to put the least amount of effort into this possible. And it's wild that day one they wanted to charge you $30 for DLC. I know that they backtracked.
Oh, that was best. That was my favorite. Hey, the most popular clan, La Sombra. How about you pay us extra for that? Wink, wink.
on that after a lot of backlash, but they thought this.
Oh, also, by the way, that's not even the first story. I actually got fucking duped by this one. When the news about the two DLC clans day one came out, people were mad. And in a day or two, the Chinese room responded, or was it Paradox that responded for them? Don't remember, doesn't really matter. And they said that they're gonna fix, think, or whatever about it. And I, as everyone else, thought that, wait, this means that they're gonna actually remove the day one DLCs? No! No, that was not their plan, turns out. And then when people figured it out, wait a minute, the day one DLCs are still in? You said that there aren't any, and then they actually removed them after the second wave of backlash, that they had to forcibly refund pre-orders because, I mean, lies.
Game was in such a good state and that people were going to like it so much that they were going to pay $30 extra for clans, and I don't remember what else came in the bundle. I think like exclusive missions and maybe some cosmetics, but either way, they were going to charge you $30 for it. And wow, was that a slap in the face to their customers. But having only 4,000 people in game, not even 2 weeks after release, is crazy. It is one of the most disappointing sequels, I would say, that we've gotten in a very long time. There's so many gamers who are just sick and tired of being treated like trash, and that's why I'm so glad so many people did decide to withhold their funds on release and said either I'm going to buy it when it's on a deep discount, or I'm just not going to buy it at all. And I love to see that. I love to see people sticking up for themselves and their hobbies. And it's like a lot of the games that I end up streaming on this channel, I would not be purchasing if I was an average customer. The only reason why I'm buying them is because I'm a content creator, and I don't want to be like the Access Media where they refuse to review games like, I don't know, Arc Raiders and Escape from Dunkey and Megabonk. They refuse to review games and play them because it doesn't fit their narrative. So like I try my best to be unbiased when games finally release, and I do try to give them a chance because I'm a human being. I'm wrong. Sometimes I say something looks like trash and then it comes out and it's actually half decent, but they definitely did not get my money.
I very rarely make these mistakes. I just want to point out for the audience, I am better than average, okay, at this. I am really good at my job, 10 out of 10. And by the way, boys, like the video right now. It takes less than a second, and hype it up if you're on a mobile device. It actually helps out me tremendously. It actually does have a real impact, and I appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who does it. And if you think that this stuff is important, then definitely like the video right now, and maybe even subscribe. Thank you for everyone who does. I do appreciate it.
Money for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I was not impressed with what I saw. I was not impressed with what they came up with, and really they deserve the low scores that they are getting based on, the content I've watched of this so far. It does not look good. And right now the critic score is sitting at a 63, which I think is quite generous based on the content that I've seen, but the user score is sitting at an unfavorable 4.5. It is very bad.
Dude, user scores are so deceptive because even trash typically can get, unless you're Diablo 4, which got a 0 point something. But typically even trash gets like roughly a 4 or a 5. So the fact that the game actually scores a 4 out of 5 is, it's not almost average. A 4 or a 5 by gamers is the equivalent of a actual 0 or a 1 pretty much. Okay?
When it takes 20 years for your game to finally come out, and this is the type of score that it launches to. And on Steam, it's not doing good either. It's sitting at a mixed with 4,397 reviews, tons of people not recommending it, saying it's bad, and there are some positives here. If you've played this and you are loving it, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you got your money's worth. I want people to be able to enjoy, entertain.
I want people to raise their standards because you having piss poor standards actually affects me, okay? There's no such thing as, oh, what do you care about? This doesn't affect you. Everything affects you. So people having this absolute shit tier taste in gaming, is calling this good or even palpable, affects me negatively because your actions literally are creating more slop in the world, and I don't enjoy that.
But man, are there a lot of people saying, yeah, I feel like I got scammed. I was about to post a positive review for Bloodlines 2. I wrote it while playing, listing every strength and weakness of this game, but then I reached the end of the game and I was baffled, and this is an understatement. I was enjoying the game in the beginning, even if it is not intended to really be Bloodlines 2. Well, it's not at all, in fact, and this is a running theme. Even the positive reviews are saying, well, if it wasn't called Bloodlines, it would be so much better. I think that that is completely unacceptable. They are selling you Bloodlines 2, therefore, it should be Bloodlines 2.
No,
They are using the VTM name and the Bloodlines name to get you to purchase it based on.
it's not a perfect game, but it made me happy. Kind of a nice sentence, but at the same time, I do fully believe that this is like the utmost ultimate defeatist give upper attitude that there can be. Well, it's shit. But if I sprinkle a little bit of mayonnaise on it, it's almost edible. Nah, nah.
Nostalgia, and it is horrendous when a release finally comes around and it is anything but a sequel. It's like they just slap the label on it to get you to shut up and consume content, and I hate when that happens. It's not really a sequel to Bloodlines, but it is a really good vampire game. Great story, interesting characters, fun combat. I think that if you have to go into it and say it's really not a sequel to Bloodlines, that should instantly be a negative. That's just my opinion, though. Despite being
No,
more or less the poster child for development hell, the game is actually better than many of the reviews would have you believe. Yes, it
no, no, no.
does feel a bit half baked in places, and it certainly has its fair share of jank, but as long as you go into it with the understanding that it's an action game with some light role playing elements rather than an RPG, you'll probably like it. Yeah, that's not really a selling point, at least in my opinion. And now if we
Definitely not.
go to Metacritic, well, things are not looking good. Hilariously poorly conceived. The only thing I enjoyed was some of the voice acting, not, it has to be mentioned, all the voice acting.
Yeah, some of the voice acting was really good. People were telling me the voice acting doesn't seem good. I before the game released, by the way, and I was like, oh no, the voice acting I have seen in this game so far actually is pretty good. I think a lot of good things about the product can be taken down or ignored by most people if the thing in general is bad. And so I think a lot of people could not distinguish the voice acting quality from the actual game. I think the voice acting was good. Now, granted, the real kicker that probably made people believe that the voice acting is bad is the fact that your fucking protagonist, the one that you are, is probably the weakest voice acting in the game by far. That's probably the biggest issue here. And I mean, that's an obvious, very, very understandable critique to have. Because your character's voice acting is some of the weakest, and especially at the end of the game, it's super fucking weak in a lot of places. But most voice acting was actually really good. If you watched the what was it? Malkavian? I don't remember. One of the trailers, the voice acting there was absolutely sublime, actually.
Because some of these performances are so abysmally bad, they cheerfully skip and hop straight into the room levels of pure, unhinged cringe and the attempt at vertical movement and level design. Compared to the first game, it's far removed from RPG elements. We can call it just an action game. It's a game that's far removed from the theme of the first one. Lazy writing, terrible character designs, trash mechanics. The city is atrociously bland and small. Arkham is
Yep, that I said before the game even released that the city is visibly trash. It's not even an open world game. It's like I don't know. It's like It's like 1/10 your typical Assassin's Creed game in size. It's really bad.
10 years old and you can't even relate the two without throwing up. Women look
Remove that because YouTube's currently on my A because of stuff. In any case, 10 out of 10.
that they copy and pasted Cyberpunk and put a voice in the MC's head. Whew, that's pretty
Based.
yikes. Guess what? The voice is ass. Just make this shit shut up. The masquerade is non existent. You slaughter civilians with cops shooting at you. Nothing happens. No consequences. And they expect that to be okay. And taking a look over.
I mean, again, I don't even think that you're gonna be able to find people who actually think this is good. I think most people playing this game still are just really desperate because the World of Darkness has literally nothing going for it games wise, and it's insane. I remember watching literally exactly this thing. Man, it's bad. In any case, that was very dark. 10 out of 10. Bye.